Hey everyone, it's Kyle here with 88 Echo 3 Gunsmithing, and today we're going to talk about repro firearms, or reproduction firearms. Reproduction firearms are firearms that are not original, but they are representations of an original, and that's what we've got here. What I've got is a customer who's brought me a No.4 Mk.1 Lee Enfield that was made by Savage Arms in the States in 1943. And what he wants to do is make a repro No.4 Mk.1 T out of it. So he wants to make the sniper version out of it. And he's not trying to pass it off as original. He's not trying to take it to a gun show and flog it for $1 bazillion. He just likes the Lee Enfields and he likes the sniper version. He just wants to be able to take it out and shoot it and have fun with it. So in order to do that, he has purchased the mounting bracket for the No.32 scope. And the scope is on its way. He's ordered that, but he's having some trouble getting it up from the States because certain firearm components can be difficult to ship to Canada. They fall under international traffic and arms regulations, and they're heavily regulated by the U.S. State Department. So sometimes it can be a bit of a challenge to get them back into the country. So once he gets that sorted out, then we'll be able to put the scope on. In the meantime, what I'm doing is drilling and tapping the side of the receiver to install the scope pads or scope beds. It can look like this. And the mounting bracket itself. This operation is considerably more involved than a standard drill and tap on a rifle receiver. A standard drill and tap on a rifle receiver, I would charge about $75 to do. This one here is going to be considerably more expensive because there's a lot of work that goes into this. I have to drill 6 holes into the side of the receiver, 2 different sizes, and then I have to tap those holes. And then the pads have to be hand fitted. So they have to be either ground or shimmed so that the mounting bracket is level, especially on the left or right. Because the No.32 scope has very little adjustment in the tube. There's not a whole lot of room to adjust your reticle for windage and elevation. It's not like scopes today with 175 MOA of adjustment, or however much that you can get out of a 34mm tube. They were very limited, so the bracket had to be installed as close to perfectly straight as you could get it, because otherwise you might not be able to zero the rifle properly. So once that's done and the scope comes, then we'll put the scope on. I'll bore sight it, zero it, test fire it, and then I'll have the customer test fire it. And then, and the other thing that will be required is a cheek riser. Has to be fit on this. The comb on these stocks is very low. Even with the iron sights, I find that it's quite low. And I would actually rather put a cheek riser on it even without the scope on it. The scope is going to pick it up to probably about here. That's the other thing. I have to grind off the 300-yard sight. This one here has a 200-yard battle sight, and it's got a 600-yard long-range sight. So I have to grind that off so that the scope will actually sit and it will clear the top of the receiver. And then put the cheek riser on. And a cheek riser is basically just a piece of wood that screws onto the comb, and it raises it up so that the rifle stock sits in the right place on your cheek, and you're not trying to pick up your head like this to shoot. So that's pretty much it for the reproduction No.4 Mk.1 T. I'll post videos if possible, and probably pictures of how things go along the way.